Hello there, mathematicians. We're going to start mini lesson now. So let's get started. I just want to remind you of what multiplication is, and I also want to talk to you about some different parts of a multiplication equation before we get into what today's lesson is. So just as a reminder, multiplication is combining equal groups of numbers to find an answer or a product. And remember, the numbers that we multiply together are both factors, and the product is the answer of those factors multiplied together. So just as a quick review, when we have 5 groups of 4, we are making equal groups that will be combined to find an answer. So that matches our definition, combining equal groups of numbers to find an answer. So, because 5 groups of 4 is 20, that is our product. So that's review from earlier this week. Today we're going to talk about the difference between factors and multiples. So on Monday we talked about what a factor is, and on Tuesday we talked about what a multiple is. Now I'm wondering what the difference is between the two of these. Go ahead and enter your thinking into play pause it, and then we'll talk about it together. All right, now that you've entered what you think the difference between a factor and a multiple is, let's talk about it together. So I have this chart here to talk about the difference between factors and multiples. Factors are multiplied together to get a product, just like what we talked about at the beginning. So when we multiply two numbers together, we get a product. And those numbers that we are multiplying together is a factor. So for example, here's the product 32. The factors 1 and 32, 1 times 32 equals 32. 2 times 16 is 32, and 4 times 8 is 32. All of these numbers are factors of 32. So here's some ways that we can think about this. When you can multiply a number to get the product, then you are talking about factors. So the numbers 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32 are all factors of 32. Now multiples are a little bit different. Multiples are the product of a given number and another factor multiplied together. So when we think about multiples, we're thinking about one factor staying the same. And the multiples are the products of that factor staying the same. So let's look at this for example. 4 times 9 is 36. So 4 is a factor, 9 is a factor, but 36 is a multiple of 4 and 9. So if we think about the multiples of 4, we can do 4 times 1 and it's 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Again, one of the factors is staying the same, in this case 4. And the product is a multiple of that factor that's staying the same. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and so on are all multiples of 4. And it can go on forever when we think about multiples because we can constantly add 4 more to the product to get another multiple. With factors, there's only so many factors that fit inside that number. With multiples, they can go on forever and ever. We can also think about skip counting when we think about multiples. If you look here, we see we're skip counting by 4s, and all of those are multiples of 4. So it's really, really tricky sometimes to remember the difference between a factor and a multiple. So we're going to practice together a little bit. So let's try it out. I'm wondering what some multiples of 4 are. Go ahead and type your thinking into play pause it, and then we'll check it together. All right, if we think back to what multiples are, it's when one of the factors stays 4, and we multiply it by another factor to find those multiples. So I know 4 times 1 is 4, so 4 is a multiple of 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 is a multiple of 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 is a multiple of 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 is a multiple of 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So 20 is a multiple of 4. And 4 times 6 is 24. And 24 is a multiple of 4. Now, I could go on forever because multiples never run out. As I think about factors of 4, I need to think of numbers that can be multiplied together in order to make 4 as the product. So I'm thinking, what numbers are factors of 4? Go ahead and enter your thinking into play, pause it, and then we'll check together. All right, let's check it out. We need to figure out which numbers multiply together to equal 4. Well, I know 1 times 4 equals 4. So 1 can be a factor, and so can 4. Are there any other numbers that multiply together to equal 4? Oh yeah, 2 times 2. So 2 is also a factor. And I'm going to write 2 once because 2, we don't need to write it twice. If it's a factor once, that's enough to write it just once. So I know the factors are 1, 2, and 4. Are there any others? I don't think so. 3, no, because we can't multiply 3 by another number to make 4. I think it's just 1, 2, and 4. So if you were able to come up with multiples of 4 and factors of 4, give yourself a high five. If you were not able to, give yourself a high five anyways, because now you've learned something and you know more. Awesome job with our mini lesson today. And tomorrow when we come back, we're going to continue talking about multiples and factors during mini lesson. As you head to your rotations, it's so important that we still think about our math behaviors, even when we're learning from home, or if you're at school for flex day, we need to keep those in mind as well. So make sure that you work the whole time. Go to a place where you can make sure that you can focus the whole part of math. Make sure you manage your time wisely. So don't spend too much time on a rotation. Get started right away so that you can complete all parts. Respect your colleagues. So if you've got any family or friends around at home, please make sure you're respectful to them. You're wearing headphones and you're not interrupting their learning or their work. And bring your best. Always give your best effort throughout today. When you are finished watching this video, you are ready to click the next button to go to the next part of your day. Have fun.